An elderly gentleman who recently lost his beloved dog is so distraught that he's still holding on to her collar 24/7. But why? Well, the reason why is heartbreaking. The old man's name is Bill, and he adopted this adorable husky named Ellie when she was just a puppy. From the moment he first laid eyes on her, he knew she was the one. They did everything together, from taking walks in the park to going to the beach. He even took her with him on his fishing trips. And she would always be by his side, waiting for him to come home. But sadly, after 13 wonderful years together, Ellie passed away. She had been suffering from a chronic illness for quite some time, and eventually her health just got worse and worse. Bill knew it was her time when she crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He felt an overwhelming sense of sadness, but he knew it was for the best. After burying her in the backyard, he went inside and collapsed on his bed, sobbing uncontrollably. It had been many years since he'd lost his wife, but the pain was just as strong as he remembered. Time seemed to have no effect on the depths of his sorrow. Then something incredible happened. His dog, who had been dead for several hours, suddenly came back to life. Bill couldn't believe his eyes. He thought he was hallucinating from grief. But no, it was real. Ellie was back. Overjoyed, he ran to her and hugged her tightly. She licked his face and wagged her tail, as if she had never been gone at all. Bill couldn't believe his luck. He thought he had gotten over his wife's death, but now he had a new lease on life, thanks to his furry best friend. However, Ellie didn't seem like the same dog. She was much older now, and moving around was a bit difficult for her. Her tail was still wagging though, and she still had the same sparkle in her eye. Bill knew that this was a second chance at love, and he was determined to make the most of it. They spent the day playing fetch in the park, and then went for a long walk along the beach. Ellie loved the water and would jump in it all the time. She was also very friendly with other dogs and people, and they made many new friends during their outing. As the sun began to set, they headed home. Bill was exhausted, but in a good way. He hadn't felt this happy in years. But when he tried to let go of Ellie's leash, she wouldn't budge. She barked at him insistently, refusing to move. Bill didn't understand what she was trying to tell him until he looked down and saw that her tail was caught in the leash. It had been a long day, and he hadn't noticed that it had become tangled. Gently, he untangled her, and she finally broke free. He watched as she trotted happily into the house, tail wagging. Then he noticed something strange. She wasn't wagging her tail with her entire body. She was only moving her rear end. Her front half remained perfectly still. This was not normal, but Ellie seemed happy enough, so Bill just shrugged it off. The next morning, he woke up early and went to check on his best friend. But when he walked into the living room, his heart sank. There she was, still with the same sparkle in her eye, but her entire body was stiff. She had passed away again in the middle of the night. Overwhelmed with grief, he clutched her lifeless body and howled at the top of his lungs. Then he noticed something in her mouth. It was her collar. She had been chewing on it until her last breath. With shaking hands, he took it out of her mouth and held it close. To this day, he still holds on to her collar, refusing to let go. Some might think he's crazy, but to Bill, it doesn't matter. He knows that Ellie loved him more than anything in the world, and he'll never forget her.